Well, two brand new Dino Movie clips are out today. Let's watch them both and give a reaction. So this one is called Marshall Meets Rhubarb the T-Rex. We knew this was going to happen, of course. Let's see how it unfolds. Okay, I'm obviously going to keep pausing and giving my commentary rather than just letting it play. This we have seen in the background when Marshall or somebody throws a stick to Rhubarb and Rhubarb ends up in the river and then presumably going down the river and falling over the waterfall together with Marshall. Not sure how much of that will happen here, but it's good to see that it's one of Rex's ingenious water wheel contraptions that provide this very nice background here. Ah, so that makes sense. Not only does he get the stick to throw to Rhubarb, the reason he got it is that it was a piece of driftwood that is blocking the water wheel. And that's why he's here, I presume, to see why the water had stopped flowing. Pretty cute. I like Marshall's animation there. Somehow this looks, I don't know, a little more TV than the previous two movies looked. If you see, do you understand what I mean? Does that make sense? It looks a bit more simplistic with textures and lighting compared to the first two movies, while still looking amazing. Just maybe slightly more stylized and cartoony.
There we go.
we know that stick is coming right back. So, I guess that's our introduction to Rhubarb. He's going to be throwing a stick at Marshall, wanting to play fetch. I don't actually know that, but I have a feeling. Let's let it play out. I promise I haven't watched this in advance.
Ouch! Did you just throw the stick at me?
We haven't actually seen any of these kind of full scenes yet. This is our first time, so actually seeing performance and timing and Carter Young's Marshall voice, well, not seeing his voice, hearing his voice, is pretty cool right now. Alright, so Rhubarb threw the stick back. He wants to play fetch. He's hiding in these long pieces of grass, I suppose. And of course, he's going to be very, very cute. Let's see.
Hey, come back here!
Sneaky little baby T-Rex. And I guess that's the initial roar we're going to hear from Rhubarb until he finds a bigger one later. He's got the stick, so he's about to be playing fetch. Let's just go back a second there. I want to see Marshall's face. That was a good frame to freeze on. That's not the face I was hoping to see. Nor any of those. Okay, there we go. That's so cute. Movie Marshall looks so much younger and smaller than his counterpart from the show. He definitely looks much more baby-faced and squishy. Look how fluffy his ear looks. I still do feel like everything looks a step more simplified in comparison to how the first two movies looked. I'm not necessarily saying it looks worse. It just looks just like a little less premium, if you see what I mean. But still, as adorable as it gets. That was really nice, though. It was a very naturalistic little animation there. I like that a lot. Let's just look at how he laughs. Just look how nicely this moves. How like a real live-action puppy, but human, if you see what I mean. How like a real puppy with human sapience it looks. I really like that.
It's not much of a roar for a T-Rex.
Rude, Marshall. How judgmental. But of course, that's going to be part of the story. I think we can let him get away with saying something. So I'm not going to say mean. Something so critical. Let's put it like that. When you first meet a little T-Rex. Rhubarb definitely has extremely small little arms. Obviously, that's a joke with T-Rexes in general, but when he's this tiny, his even tinier arms just seem a little bit silly. Oh, that's it. Okay, let me just hear what he says about the roar again.
That's not much of a roar for a T-Rex.
I really like Carter Young as Marshall. This is a voice that I think fits this character really well. Nice natural delivery. And yeah, generally I'm approving of pretty much everything here. It may, be construed as criticism that I said it looks more simplistic compared to how the previous two movies were rendered, but it doesn't look worse. It just looks like it's stylized a bit more differently. It's a bit more, I guess, illumination-y. Does that make sense? I think most people who are deep into looking at the different CG cartoons will know what I mean. Anyway, that's the Marshall and Rhubarb clip, which I kind of adore. Let's look at the Rex clip now. So, getting a lift from Nelly at Rex's treehouse. We knew this Brachiosaurus was called Nelly from the various books that give that name. I think it's one of the very simple kind of puzzle books that revealed that. And I've been calling it the Nellyvator. But that may not be a joke that gets made in the movie or anything. Just one from me. Alright, before we even start, look at Rex's makeshift wheelchair. This to me does not look like he made it from scratch. It looks like he repaired it extensively, but this has been manufactured. It's almost certain to me he had this chair before arriving on the island. And then he's tried to kind of keep himself grounded in the human owner pet relationship world that is kind of ill-defined in Paw Patrol, but clearly exists, by fashioning himself a collar. So he would have felt like he needs a collar, but presumably lost it or it broke over time. So he made himself a new one out of vines and a shell to feel more like he's still connected with perhaps a previous owner, or just his general impression of how the world would be. And of course, we see he knows about, Wi-Fi and iCloud and things like that, so he definitely had a past in civilization. He's not lost from birth like a Tarzan character. Okay, with that said, let's watch this second 1.5 minute clip.
Okay, this is me.
He's so cute. Oh, look at him, he's so fluffy. Oh, he's so adorable. I really think the first few images they gave us of Rex before we saw him on the poster looking super cute were pretty misleading. They gave us some very goofy looking images, and actually he's just very, very sweet. He looks different from his show incarnation, much like Marshall. He looks a fair bit younger and squishier. His eyebrows take up much more of his face, but I really like how Rex looks in the movie. He's very adorable, and giving him these tufts of hair at the top, very sweet. Okay, I'll try to interrupt this less. Beautiful. A work of great ingenuity.
Whoa, Rex, you built all this?
Oh, he's marking off the days. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I wanted to look at this shot of everybody kind of marveling. This is nice dapple lighting. They've taken advantage of it being this tree setting. This moss looks very nice. Well, you can see he's counting his days off here as well. So, assuming each one of these is a day, he's been here a long time. Okay, so Chase speaks there.
Whoa, Rex, you built all this?
Yeah, this is a great Chase voice as well. No objections to that. The relative sizes of the pups are always, they always still, even after seeing the first two movies many times, it still takes me by surprise that Marshall is so much smaller than movie Zuma and even Rocky. Marshall is very small in the movie Incarnation. Not as small as Sky, of course, but still dinky, considering he's, pretty much equal the tallest pup in the show of the main six. Okay, let's carry on.
Yep, it's taken me 2 years, 147 days, and I'm almost done.
Oh, well, I was speculating about how long it's taken, but he's kept track. To the day. 2 years, how long?
Done. Almost 140. Yep, it's taken me 2 years, 147 days, and I'm almost done.
2 years and 147 days. So, obviously, that means he doesn't age like a dog. I had a whole video about the pup ages and how they wouldn't make sense if you counted them as dog years, but also don't really make a whole lot of sense if you take their canon ages as well. He would have been incredibly tiny if he were only, 5 years old or something like that, which would put him in line with most of the other pups, if we look at their official canon ages. What else? We get another look at the wheelchair and its makeshift repairs. Looks like he's had to do puncture repairs, which would have been an incredibly difficult thing to do. But seeing what he's built in 2.5 years in that incredible treehouse, his ingenuity is pretty amazing. And given that he keeps track of the days to the extent he doesn't have to look at what he's penciled up, he's obviously got a mind that works in a certain way, let's say, and keeps track of the details. Alright, so it's not just that he wanted a collar, it has a utilitarian purpose. It's a little conch that he can blow to summon Nelly. That's a nice sense of scale.
Whoa!
We've seen these shots before.
All aboard!
So we saw almost all of this previously. Just this part that I've paused on is new to us. Obviously, we didn't see Nelly coming out of the trees before. But from this pan around them, we've seen all of this chopped up. Maybe not this particular frame, because I think I'd remember that sky expression. But we've seen all of this. And then we see Rex down on the lower left. And then it basically cut here in every version we've seen before. I like Rex's little backwards cap helmet. We haven't seen Rex jumping onto Nelly before. I want to see how that works. Just kind of does it. I think they get away with that. It'd be a pretty difficult maneuver in real life, but I think no one's gonna dwell on that.
All aboard!
Now, I want to see when Zuma is looking down, if he's going whoa, or if he's actually whistling. It looked more to me like he was whistling, but, it wouldn't be a surprise if he was indeed going whoa. I like a writer's expression there. Now, I kind of ranted about this before, about how this is kind of a ridiculous scale for a Brachiosaurus head. In real life, Brachiosaurus skulls are, only about the size of a human an adult male hugging his knees. So it wouldn't be nearly big enough to do this. But it's fantasy Dino Island. These sauropods have evolved differently, fine.
Whoa!
Well, there's my answer. He is indeed going whoa, and not whistling. I don't know why I thought it was whistling. Oh, okay. Probably this particular frame, but, yeah. If it's taken more in context,
Whoa!
it's definitely a whoa. What were those excited noises? That sounded very natural, but I'm not sure if it was meant to be something. Just general chuckling. Nice shot of Ryder. You haven't seen many of those. When you can actually see a little bit of sideburn, he doesn't look so bald. Nice music here as well. This is hearing the score for the first time, really. So I think the kind of triumphant soundtrack is working well here. Nelly, I hope you get well compensated for this. You need to unionize, being used as an elevator all the time. The score is definitely doing some hard work here. I think that's, the sense of wonderment that comes from that ethereal singing. It's it's a well-used tool in a composer's arsenal, but to mix my metaphors, but it does sound really nice, and it does give a sense that this is something to wonder at. Look how cute Rex is. They're all so cute. Conveniently done.
Thanks for the lift, Nelly.
Sweet. Aha. This is the payment is going to be revealed, but I just want to see.
Thanks for the lift, Nelly.
I want to see Rex here. He's so skinny. I guess his floof is kind of compacted by the strap, which makes sense, which is what would happen, but it makes his big head look a little disproportionate. Still, he's a very cute pup. Here's your reward.
Hey!
Okay, fair compensation. And I think this is cute. So, Ryder gets splashed. Ryder seems to get splashed and covered in various liquids quite a lot in this movie. Just from the clips we've seen, this is not the first time he's had this kind of a reaction. The lighting is so nice here. Zuma. This kind of sense of wonderment here is really nice. Ooh, I'm not sure about those final laughs. I feel like the sound editor could have maybe mixed different laughs or chosen different takes from that. Sounded a little goofy. Yeah, I don't really want to end on the note of those awkward laughs, so let's look back a little bit. I want to hear. I paused it a lot as they were going up, but I just want to listen to the music as she's lifting them. It's really nice. I think on the cinema in the movie theaters with the with the Dolby surround sound, big speakers, it's gonna leave a deep impression on some of the kids. Let's look at this vista. So the volcano looms in the background. And this is actually taller. So this must be where the lake is. This is the great. It's a huge amount of water. So Marshall has to climb this in order to push down some rocks up here and make the water spill down and save the day. If it's like one of the books that we've seen, to rescue the whole team who've been stranded by lava. So That's an incredible climb. That looks like a day's worth of climbing at least for a skilled climber. So maybe he doesn't start at the bottom, but that's quite the epic climb for a puppy. The treehouse, of course, looks amazing. They didn't manage to pull off it looking quite this good when they rendered it in the TV show. And yeah, the sense of scale here, this is really very nice. All these trees, the foliage, the canopy, the fact that they're kind of looking down at clouds from this height. Yeah, I think they've done a great job with this environment. All right, I guess I've waffled enough. This was my sincere first reaction. I didn't pre-watch these or anything. I probably babbled a little bit, and I think there was at least one point where I just sat staring for a few seconds, but I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. That's all for today, though. Maybe I should talk about some other clips. How about clicking here to see the book where we found out about the storyline, including what happens with this big old lake. Or maybe if you want to see the latest Dino news, why not click here? And that's all for today. Excuse me. That's all for today, though, and I'll see you guys again next time.